What's up, everybody? Easy here. And it's Thursday night football time. We got the Washington Commanders going up against the Green Bay Packers, and it's actually a fun game to look forward to. So far, the Island games have delivered to start the season, especially Sunday night football when we had that crazy swing, in the last 3 minutes between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. But hopefully they keep the trend going here this Thursday night, and I'm really liking this matchup, and I feel like there's some sneaky spots we can exploit. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get the homework out the way. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell icon so you can get all our content as soon as it drops. Week one DFS video should be dropping soon, and then this video will probably be up first since we got Thursday coming up. But yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about this game in general now. There are a couple players that are banged up, Jaden Reed. Now, Packers are a team that tends to be more careful with how they deal with injuries. Their doctors are quick to rule out players, man. But Jaden Reed is an interesting situation because he's supposed to be the guy this year, their number one wide receiver. Uh, he's been hurt. I'm actually surprised he played week one. And I do think there's a good chance he may sit out of this game this week since it's a quick turnaround. You clearly could see he wasn't that healthy in the first game. He still made it work, still played, but I would not be surprised if he sat out this game this week with the quick turnaround, still dealing with the injury. So he's one that we'll really monitor, but for now, I'll just treat it as if he's playing. Austin Eckler, I expect him to play. It's just a shoulder bang up a little bit. And then down low, you got Dontavian Wicks and Noah Brown, who aren't really that much of a factor. Christian Rodriguez, he was a healthy scratch week one. I was very surprised at that. But let's go ahead and talk about captains. Now, if you're new to the Showdown format of DraftKings, you got one captain who's 1.5x the money to get him, but he also gives you 1.5x the points, and then you can fill out the rest as flex plays. Of course, quarterbacks are always going to be the most appealing captains because they tend to have the safer floors. Like they can get, rushing yards. Both these quarterbacks actually can get you some rushing yards and they'll get the yards in the air as well. Now, wide receivers and running backs, they can get you the more leverage at the captain spot. And, especially if you pick the right one. And we got some interesting choices, but like I told y'all in the week one video, I really like the fit for Debo Samuels in this Washington offense and on this Washington team in general. I do feel like we're going to see Debo have a big season this year, and he is my favorite captain going into this game because not only can he get you the points just from the regular wide receiver stuff, but you can use him in so many different ways. Like you can make design plays for him, make design runs for him. He can just straight up take it out the backfield. So Debo is very, very valuable to this offense, and I'd really, really like him as my favorite captain this week going into the slate. Debo Samuel. Now, some other captain options that I really like. You got like I said, Jordan Love, he can spread the ball around. Josh Jacobs, very obvious, he can get his thing done too. He's, gonna be out there. He can handle a heavy workload. Listening to Matt LaFleur talk about this guy on the Pivot podcast, like he really, really likes Josh Jacobs and likes that Josh Jacobs can handle any sort of workload that he gives him. Terry McLaurin is looking for a bounce back game. That's always a good candidate for a captain as well. Krosky Merritt, or let's call him Bill, like he likes to be called. Him at 10.5 is not a bad captain. Zach Ertz at 8,700, he's always in play. Same with Tucker Craft. And I do think they'll need Tucker Craft a lot more in this game. Green Bay can get you field goals, so Brandon McManus is always a solid captain too. But as of right now, ranking my captain picks, Debo Samuel will be number one. Josh Jacobs will be two. Jaden Daniels three. And then, just take your pick from there. So let's go ahead, plug in Debo just for the sake of this bill. I'm going to make sure you guys can still see the player names and stuff in the video. That's why I have it zoomed like this. But now that we got Debo in at captain, Most of the time, naturally, you can just go ahead plug in his quarterback with him because the correlation just makes sense. Now, where do I think like when it comes to showdown, the main thing is you got to create a game theory in your head, like create a story. How does this game go? How will Washington be able to penetrate this Green Bay defense? How will Green Bay penetrate Washington's defense? Which defense can stop the other's offense? So you got to think about those things and get a little bit more creative in showdowns. It is one of my favorite game types. When I started out though, I hated it, but then I had most of my big wins come on showdowns, and you tend to love it real quick. So here, starting off with Jaden Daniels and Debo Samuel, I do genuinely think Washington can get this done passing the ball this week. And I think Green Bay may actually have more success running. So I don't mind throwing in Josh Jacobs and also Brandon McManus because, Green Bay may stall out in some positions and just kick the field goal. Washington are another team though that kicks a lot of field goals, so I don't mind taking Matt Gay either. Now, the first matchup, he didn't necessarily have to do much because they were playing the New York Giants, and you know how that can go. Now, in a matchup like this, where Washington may get stopped a little more, I could see a double kicker lineup working very well. Romeo Dobbs at 4K, especially if um especially if Jaden Reed sits out, will be a really, really good value. If Wicks doesn't play, that's also another plus for him. And then you also got Krosky Merritt, but him, I probably will be lower on him because I like the Washington passing game way more than I do their run game in this matchup. And it's gonna be interesting. Like the lineups I play, Krosky Merritt, I'll probably have him at captain because if he pops off in this game, he's gonna have a big game. But I do like the Washington pass game here a little more than I like the run game. So now you got Jacobs, you got McManus, you have 5,200 left. You just got to find a value. Like I said, Romeo Dobbs looks good. Tucker Craft really looks good to me. Kicker, you can't go with Matt. You can't go wrong with Matt Gay. And then Chris Moore caught that long 34-yard pass, but you can hope that he gets another one at 800. But value is pretty slim pickings on this slate. So you definitely may have to, make some hard choices, make some hard fades. But I do like this starting point right here. And if I'm just looking at other players, I really like I said, like both tight ends on these teams because I think the tight ends will be a great safety blanket in this matchup for both quarterbacks. And they could just get like, 5 for 50 each, and then one of them might get lucky and get a touchdown, and you get a good score out of them. Matthew Golden could be a really good play in this matchup, but Romeo Dobbs at 4K is the one that I'm really looking at. Jaden Reed, if he plays, I think 8,200 might be just a little expensive for my liking in this matchup. Terry McLaurin is like the elite GPP. Everyone will be down on him, especially after that bad first game, and this is a great bounce back spot for him. You go the double quarterback route because both these quarterbacks can use their legs. Both these quarterbacks are solid quarterbacks too. They can put up points. So this is going to be a fun showdown, a very interesting when it comes to lineup construction. So definitely let me know in the comment section who's your favorite captain and also who's just your favorite play overall on this slate. You got any questions, leave them down below always. You want to support the channel, you can join as a channel member or simply just like, comment, subscribe, or share. All support is welcomed here. Free support is welcomed even more because it takes nothing out your day. But let's make some money this week one, and look out for the props video to come out on Friday. I'll try to do a short, well, I'll probably try to do a YouTube short for the Thursday night prop video because I gotta work the next few days. So and I work overnight, so it's a little tougher to record my videos and do that. But yeah, look out for a short version of a prop video Probably tomorrow night, actually. Maybe tomorrow night, maybe Thursday morning, I'll drop a props video for the Thursday night football game. And then Friday, I'll do a props video for the main slate and possibly some UFC as well. We got UFC, we got boxing, we got a fun weekend of sports. So let's get this hefty bag this weekend, and I'm out. Easy.